Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Sally and I post a lot of book content and lifestyle vlogs, so subscribe if that is your vibe. But if you're not new here and you're a returning viewer, welcome back. I'm so excited that you're here. This is a video I've been waiting to film since the very beginning of summer, and I'm just really excited that I can film it now because we're towards the end of summer, which is a bit sad to say, so it's kind of like bittersweet now that we're actually here. This is my everything that I read this summer video, and I'm excited to walk you through all the books that I've been consuming and reading and eating and breathing these past few months. Without too much fluff in the intro, let's get into it. I'm gonna be vulnerable for a minute. This is maybe my third time wearing lashes this year, but I feel like there is a caterpillar on my eyes right now. And like looking down, I think the glue just got on my lower lashes. It just feels really heavy. I've been going like this a lot because I feel like I just want to close my eyes. I'm trying to adjust as much as you are if you don't recognize me. I have all of my books here. It is currently the middle of August, which you would say is not the end of summer. Like there's still about a month left of summer because technically I think it's like September 20th. That's like the end of summer and fall starts. But with my schedule, I have to pre-film this, which sucks a little bit. So I also have kind of like what I think I'll read for the rest of the summer slash like a summer to fall TBR, just so I don't really miss anything. But I have my list right here and we're going to go in order. The first book I read was in June and this is called The Favorites. I don't have a physical copy even though I wish I do. I'm just waiting for it to come out in paperback. I've heard about it like ever since it came out. The moment it came out, it was like viral. Everyone talked about it. It's so juicy and dramatic. And then my friend Tyler shared it on his story. He was like obsessed with this book already. And I was like, okay, this is like my tipping point where I'm like, Tyler's reading it, I'm gonna jump on. And so I listened to the audiobook and trust me, this has been one of the most like thrilling in a non-horror way, exciting, like edge of my seat, page turning, but I listened to an audiobook, so more like frozen in my seat. It is so dramatic. There's so many twists and turns. Every single chapter, I was like, I did not see that coming, because genuinely, you never really see it coming until you finish the whole book and you're like, what just actually happened? Like, that's not real life. This book is about... I'm so bad with character names. This book is about figure skater and like competitive figure skating, and it's mainly about Katrina, but there's also other point of views or perspective in this book, which I really enjoy. We have Katrina, Heath, Bella, Sheila, and Garrett. Katrina and Heath are best friends. They end up dating. They are competitive figure skater and they bond when they were like in childhood about their really rough upbringing and their like traumatic upbringing. And it's kind of like a trauma bond. Like they just know so much about each other and their history that they're really in it for life. Bella and Garrett are sibling duos who are also competitive figure skater, and Sheila is their mother, who is a figure skater coach, but who was once a super famous competitive figure skater. Are we following along? There's a lot of names being thrown at you, but trust, like once you get these glued down, like the whole story just makes so much more sense. Throughout this whole book is this story of the five of them just in this world. And I don't know how to say it without spoilers. Romance and betrayal and grief and secrecy, and I highly recommend it. This was a 5 stars for me. Like, then the next book I read is also an audiobook, and this one kind of threw me for a loop because I did not expect it to be this good, but it was actually really incredible. It's The Roommate by Rosie Danan. I went to a book swap and I got this book, but I've heard about it for the longest time. I think someone on Instagram was like, oh, I love this book, it was so unexpectedly good. So I was like, okay, yeah, I'll give this a try. I mean, I've always wanted to read it. I think the plot is very interesting. It's about two strangers who become roommates from a certain situation, and they're just polar opposites of each other. She's like really quiet, reserved, not really out there, and he is an adult actress. She's not like shaming him for his work, but she's just like curious. She's like you actually do that? I mean, it just seems like a really good plot. The audiobook was really good, and there's more depth to this book than I thought, because genuinely with a plot like that, I thought it was just going to be like he's going to teach her things that he does for work and it's just going to be like super smutty, but that was not the case. There's actually a lot more to it, which is exciting, and the way their relationship develops and how they learn more about each other, their past, and why they are the way that they are, and like what they're trying to unlearn, the way they collaborate on a business idea. That was like really interesting, and like that obviously wasn't in the back of the book, but it just made the story so much more stronger. I really enjoyed this one and I gave it 4 stars. Moving on to July, we have our first DNF of the summer. I kind of forgot about this book and probably why I DNF'd it because it wasn't that memorable. I usually don't count DNF as like part of my read list unless I have read more than 50%. And it is Hail by Anastasia White, which is a little bit disappointing to say because I've been looking forward to this author for quite some time. They write a lot of like sports romance and fun like flirty romance that is always viral on TikTok. Like I'm always seeing out of context quotes and I'm like, add it to the cart. But this one just didn't hit the mark for me. I think it just threw me off because there's this really big age gap and also the single dad has a little brother and that brother is Nanny's best friend. Like they're both 18. Like, I don't know. I think the age gap was too much. I think it was like 18 years or something. Like it was a big number and there was just no depth to their conversation. I don't understand how he can see an 18-year-old as like this attractive when he like I don't know if he saw her growing up, but like that's his little brother's best friend. Like she was present in their life. The communication and like the outside relationship outside of the smut wasn't giving romance. Getting repetitive here, but those were my final thoughts. And then next up, I read Caught Up by Navessa Allen. Here she is, and this is the second book in the Lights Out series or duology. I actually don't know if it's going to be a trilogy because I have a prediction the third book is going to be about Tyler and Stella, which was hinted at the very end. And I'm going to throw this out here first. I think the cover will be green theme because they all kind of look like this and this one's red, Lights Out was blue, and I think Tyler is going to be green. It makes sense in my mind, but we will see. This is a dark romantic comedy, which is a genre that I just started exploring this year, so it's super new to me, but I've been having a good time with it because the dark romance is there and it's like sometimes can get pretty gruesome, but the comedic relief is everything to me. And I just love seeing, like, I think with the dark rom-coms that I read, these like set up to be really mean male main characters, serial killers and like cyber hackers and mafia mob, they're just like so soft. Like I don't know how to break it down to you, and just like lover boys at like the core of the book. So this one is about Lauren and Junior, who is also Nico or Nick. Basically they had a fling when they were in high school, like at the very end of it. It was super fun and it was only like short-lived until this big secret blew up because she was always this like shy and reserved girl and he was always like known to be a part of like the mafia family, and it was somehow revealed that they were like hooking up and like it blew up in her face and he denied it. He was just like, I don't know this girl, I never met her. And of course it like shattered her world, and the high school drama that you experience always feels like the end of the world, and so she completely changed her life, and this is them 10 years later and how they're not picking back up where they left off, but they're in each other's lives again suddenly. I ended up giving this 5 stars just to round up, but I think it was like 4.5, which is basically 5 in my book. I felt like in the first book the male main character was hilarious and Junior is more of a serious guy in this, and Lauren is also, so like the comedic relief comes mainly from like outside characters or secondary characters, like her roommate is actually hilarious, and like more like smaller moments rather than like the character being funny himself. Next up we have Otherworldly. This is a book club pick that my friend picked. It's literally just me and her, but we have a book club and we try to do it every single month, but we really kind of go on our own timeline, and she's a big fantasy gal. I'm not. Every single fantasy book that I've read this year, I am so sure is from like her book club picks. This is one of the books that she picked, and it is a young adult fantasy. I gave this a 2.75, but I'm just gonna round up and say 3. Surprisingly for me, who hates I don't hate fantasy, but like who doesn't really read fantasy, and the main reason I don't is because I can't keep up with the world building, and there's always so much detail and so many characters lists and like fantasy aspects, and then like the magical, sometimes there's paranormal and like all these things. It's hard for me to keep up with because I feel like I have to take notes and read, when to me reading should just be like sit down and like enjoy the plot. This is my perspective, right? And after I finished this, I was like, I wish there was more fantasy aspect. To me, there wasn't enough. Like, it kind of fell flat for me in that part, and I was just like, okay. And then because it's a romantasy, the romance wasn't really selling me on it as well. I do, however, love the diversity in this. I think it's great, and I love seeing that in the books that I read. I just wish there was more fantasy or romance aspect. The next up, I read Battling of the Bookstore. This was a super cute read when I first started it. It's about 2 bookstores, and I believe they're like right next to each other. One is led by or managed by the female main character, and then the other is by the male main character, and they're under one owner, but they're looking to merge, and basically they only need one more manager. So they're kind of fighting for the manager position to run the bookstore, and it is low-key reminding me of The Hating Game. They're low-key opposites. Like, the female main character only reads literary fiction. She's not a big fan of romance, and the male main character is a big romance guy. Like, he loves romance, he loves smut, and he just like preaches that in his bookstore. And so as they're fighting for this new role, they're like starting to learn more about each other, but they do have this like hate aspect, like dislike. I wouldn't say enemies, but they have this like surface level dislike that they're fighting for something that they both want. I thought it was like really good, and it was really fun for the first like maybe 30 to 50%, but after 70% it kind of got like annoying and slow and repetitive, and the banter definitely felt forced, and I think it was just like dragged out a little bit. Like, it could have just been a fun, simple, cute, short romance. All the additional details towards the end, I was just like, I'm losing interest. So overall, I gave it 3 stars. Next, I read Writing Mr. Wrong. I think this cover is adorable. It is about a romance author and a hockey player. I believe they knew each other in high school. They like know of each other. I don't know if they were like best friends or close or like even talked, but she is a romance author and she uses him as inspiration for one of her books, and he has suddenly found himself in kind of like a situation where he needs to fake date for a little bit. They work up a plan where he is going to help her be inspired, continuing to get out of this like writer's block and continue writing. Like, I don't know if it's the next part of her book or the next book in her series, and she is going to play fake girlfriend just for him to kind of clear up his image in the media. And I thought this was a really good start. I think the plot is really interesting, and like starting off the book and them like trying to work out this deal and like going on fake dates, it was really interesting and cute. And then I kind of got annoyed towards like the half of it because I felt like the female main character's internal monologue wasn't connecting with me. It kind of felt a bit frustrating, so it kind of threw me off a little bit. But overall, it was like an okay read, but it just wasn't memorable. I am like having a hard time kind of pulling like the details of this book. Those are all the books that I have officially finished this summer. I do have a stack with me right here that I am currently reading and almost done with, slash books that I really want to read this summer that I hopefully can read before it ends, but we'll see where we're at. If you haven't seen any of my vlogs, I definitely have not shut up about this book. It is my current obsession, and I am more than halfway through the book, and I was going to finish it this weekend, but I kind of got caught up yesterday, so we'll find another weekend to finish it up. It could be today as well. Problematic Summer by Ali Hazelwood. This is her latest adult romance, but I did not know this. This is the second book slash like part of a duology, but it stands on its own. The first book that comes before this is Not in Love, and I've always had this book. I just never got around to reading it, and I saw an out of context like aesthetic video about it without really knowing what I was getting myself into, and I bought it and read it, and now I'm kind of like, oh, I wish I read this first, because everyone in this book knows each other, and everyone, like, all the characters are being brought up as if I've already met them. I have not, so I'm so sure they live in this book. I don't know, I feel like everyone's obsessed about this book, and so am I. This is about Connor and Maya, age gap romance. It's older brother's best friends or best friend's little sister. It's summer vacation. They are on like a destination wedding for the week, and so this is them kind of like talking about what happened 3 years ago, that why they can't communicate like as normal people, and because there's this like past history behind them. It's just a fun, fluffy read that has a lot of good characters. I'm just a slow reader, and especially when it comes to physical books, like it's going to take me some time to finish it, but if this was on audiobook, trust, it would have been done in a day. And then another book that I'm definitely going to finish before the summer end is People Watching by Hannah Bonham Young. I got the ARC for this, and so did my friend, and we are reading it for book club. This was my pick of the book club, and I am just so excited for it. It is about a nomad named Milo, and he just has like a really traumatic childhood backstory. I haven't really gotten far in. I think I'm only on like chapter 3, but he has some like, he has a backstory to him, right? And I haven't even met the female main character yet. That's how like early in the book I am. And it's about a girl who's like super shy and really into her books, and she asks him to teach her how to love. That's what I think the book is about, but I will tell you more. I know like all of the Hannah Bonham Young books that I read, I have been obsessed with. There's just so much like depth to them, and her representation is absolutely incredible. I think the way she portrays and writes her character with so much love and care is one of my favorite things to read, and so I already know I'm going to love this book. Strangers to Lover, Dual Point of View, Small Town, Artist slash Poet, and then Sex Lessons. seems like my kind of vibe. Next up, I really want to read Great Big Beautiful Life. I've heard amazing things about it. I actually was going to pick this book for book club. The Libby waitlist for audiobooks and for the physical book is about 1,000 people in front of us, so we probably won't get to it until 2026, and that's fine. But I saw this book at a used bookstore and I knew I wanted to get it. It's the Barnes & Noble exclusive, so it's pink instead of red, and then the inside is this like cute little checkered picnic table vibe, and I just thought it was so cute and I couldn't give it up. So I'm excited for this. Even though I'm not a fan of hardcovers, still am very excited for this. That is on my list. Another thing that's also on my list is Until the World Falls Down. I literally just got this book in the mail and I had no idea about it until I received it, but it is a romantasy and this is a debut novel. Look at the sprayed edges, so cute. Beauty and the Beast inspired Journey to Self-Acceptance, Fated Pair, Cursed Immortal X adult-aged human, morally gray, absolutely obsessed shadow male main character. So I believe he controls like shadows and she is just like a human person. And I'm excited. I am like not a big fantasy gal, but like the romance in this is really pulling through for me, like based on everything that I've seen online. So I'm super excited for this, and I think the book being absolutely beautiful is helping it. And the author slash the publisher slash the artist, I think it's a group of people, sent over this poster of a character art, and I am so excited because now it just looks like super romantic and I have to read it so I can understand like what this means to me. It's going to mean so much more after I learn about their love story. It's ripped, as you guys can see. It's a very sad story, but I got this big package and I thought it was a book package, and I was like, there's no book in here. Like, it's just a cardstock box. And so I opened it, but as I was ripping it, it accidentally ripped the art, and so I was so sad. I did my best to like glue it together, but I didn't realize you could see the glue on the print because I was gluing it from the back. But I think I fixed it okay, and then there's a bunch of washi tape on the back to like help it stiffen up. But I feel like if I didn't point it out, you wouldn't have noticed, and so I'm just going to leave it because I don't want to mess with it more and like damage the art. But I'm so excited to read that, and I'm so happy to have that character art in my possession. Those are all the books that I read this summer slash all the books that I want to read before the summer is over because I'm pre-filming this video. I'm so happy that I got to share everything that I read with you guys. This one has been on my to film list for the longest time, and I'm excited that it's now in your hands. Let me know if you guys found any interesting books from this. Also, let me know what books you guys read this summer and which one was your absolute favorite. I am always looking for book recommendation, and I want to read what you guys are reading. So let me know below. But other than that, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye!